Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow, that's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view. Good that people are dying in America.
Did you see that Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today?
Yes, I did.
How do you feel about that?
I don't really have any feelings about it. Who are you?
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
yes.
Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
So if you had a magical wand, a magical button that you could press and keep him from being assassinated, would you press that?
No. I think things happen for a purpose. And if that's how his life was ended, then that's how it was ended. So,
Do you know who Charlie Kirk is?
Yeah, he's a who she. I'm like, yeah, he's an you know. I wouldn't wish it to anyone, but I don't think his political views are correct. You know.
We're gonna step away from this because you're just trying.
Well, you let him talk. He wants to talk. What are you? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him.
You know.
Anyways.
I love the right. I love the right. I love all of you guys. Thank you.
In my opinion, I think they're going to flip it and say the other way. But I think the left has just spewed so much hate and brainwashed so many people into doing stupid this. But they're going to flip it and say, oh, he was so hateful and he spewed all this hatred.
You're almost gonna say he deserved it.
Yeah, they're going to say he deserved. I've already seen people. That's what I've seen. I've already seen people saying he deserved it. He spews all this hate, and they're going to say because the hate he spewed, he should have gotten that. It's a sign of, I think, what liberalism has done to U.S. society. It's just led to a complete moral decay. And
on one side, shock and grief. On the other, laughter, mockery, applause. Videos of strangers declaring, "We're glad he's gone." Clips of people dancing in the street. Memes shared with cruelty. And hashtags trending with venom. It wasn't new. It was the same script history has played before, only louder, faster, amplified by the echo chambers of social media. Look closely and you'll notice a pattern. Every time a polarizing figure falls, the public is divided not just in mourning, but in celebration. And every time, that division is used by those watching, by those waiting, by those who thrive in the chaos. Go back to 2001. After the September 11th attacks, America was united in grief. But across the world, in hidden corners, cameras captured crowds celebrating the collapse of the towers. Dancing, cheering, handing out candy in the streets. Those images, broadcast globally, ignited another cycle of hate, proving how tragedy for some becomes triumph for others. It's the same story with different names. When Margaret Thatcher died in 2013, London saw street parties. Protesters carried banners that read, "The witch is dead." For her followers, it was sacrilege. For her critics, it was vindication. Hate and celebration, bound together in one moment. So when the footage of people laughing at Charlie Kirk's death surfaced, the question became bigger than the man himself. It became about us, about the state of society, about how division has grown so deep, so wide, that death no longer unites people in sympathy. It splits them into camps of celebration and mourning. But here's where the mystery grows darker. Because celebrations like these don't just appear naturally. They are often encouraged, sometimes by leaders, sometimes by movements, sometimes by hidden hands who know how powerful public reaction can be. Take Nazi Germany, for example. The propaganda machine didn't just demonize enemies. It conditioned ordinary people to celebrate their downfall. Posters, films, and speeches painted the death of Jews, communists, and dissenters not as tragedy, but as victory. The people clapped, not because they were born cruel, but because they were taught to see death as justice. In Rwanda, during the 1994 genocide, radio stations broadcast calls to action, mocking victims, laughing at their suffering, urging others to join in. Celebration wasn't just spontaneous, it was orchestrated, weaponized. And in modern politics, though less extreme, the same manipulation lingers. When leaders fall, opponents rush to frame it not as a moment of loss, but as a rallying cry. Hashtags trend, narratives shift, videos spread, not by accident, but by careful design. Which brings us back to the footage surrounding Charlie Kirk's death. Were the celebrations real? Yes. But were they also fueled, magnified, and spread to deepen the divide? That's the question. Think of how fast those clips appeared. Within hours, before most details of the shooting were confirmed, videos of cheering critics were already circulating. Almost too fast. As if someone wanted us to see them. As if someone wanted to remind us not just of the tragedy, but of the hatred. And history warns us what happens next. Hatred of this kind rarely stays contained. It breeds cycles of retaliation. One side celebrates, the other grows angrier. Each tragedy becomes fuel for the next. Each death becomes an excuse for deeper division. The killing of Yitzhak Rabin, Israel's prime minister, in 1995 is another reminder. He was gunned down by a man who believed his peace efforts betrayed the nation. His death didn't silence the conflict, it deepened it. And in the days that followed, some extremists cheered. Their celebration wasn't just about Rabin. It was about victory in a larger ideological war. So when we watch these celebrations of Charlie Kirk's death, the real question isn't just why are they celebrating? It's who benefits from the celebration. Because history shows that hate doesn't just divide, it empowers someone. Someone always steps into the chaos, always harvests the anger, always weaponizes the celebration of death to push their own agenda. This is where the mystery begins to unfold, because the man who pulled the trigger may not have been the final hand in this story. Just as the celebrations may not have been entirely organic, neither may the attack itself. What looks like chaos may in fact be choreography. The deeper you dig, the more you see the pattern. Hatred, violence, and celebration, woven together over and over again throughout history. And every time, the world asks the same question: was it truly random, or was it orchestrated? Because this is no longer just the story of Charlie Kirk. This is the story of every fallen figure in history, and the dangerous cycle that ensures their deaths are never just about them, but about something much, much larger. To understand this, we need to explore the anatomy of hate. Hate isn't born in a vacuum. It grows, slowly, sometimes through speeches, sometimes through policies, sometimes through single phrases repeated over and over until they burn into the minds of those listening. When enough people carry that fire, a single tragedy becomes more than news. It becomes an outlet. Charlie Kirk's critics were never silent. He was, to them, a lightning rod, a man who embodied everything they opposed. His words sparked debates. His presence ignited protest. And when he was silenced, the other side didn't all cry. Some celebrated. But it's not just about him. This has happened before, countless times. Look at the murder of Martin Luther King Jr. While America froze in collective grief, there were pockets of white supremacists who rejoiced, believing his death restored something they had lost. When Indira Gandhi, India's prime minister, was assassinated in 1984, the country descended into chaos. Her followers were devastated, yet her critics, many of whom had been silenced under her emergency rule, quietly rejoiced that the iron hand of her leadership had finally been cut off. So the cycle repeats. One man's tragedy becomes another man's victory lap. And the deeper question remains, who benefits from this cycle? Because hate isn't random. Hate is power. When groups of people celebrate the downfall of a figure, that energy doesn't just disappear, it gets harvested, shaped, redirected. Politicians, activists, even corporations have learned how to weaponize it. And that's where Charlie Kirk's story begins to shift from personal tragedy into something much larger. Because the celebration of his death wasn't just spontaneous joy from critics. It was a reflection of years of cultivated division, years of sharpening lines between us and them.